Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into a story that's got everything high stakes, elite athletes, um, Olympic dreams hanging in the balance. We're talking about competitive sports where the tiniest edge, really tiny, can make all the difference. And the big question is, what happens when that edge comes from, well, cheating? We're doing a deep dive today into a pretty shocking scandal that's really shaken up the world of ski jumping. And there are some surprising facts here, trust me. So the main topic, a major equipment cheating scandal. And it involves Olympic gold medalists from the powerhouse Norwegian ski jumping team. Our mission, really, is to help you quickly get your head around what's alleged, how it supposedly happened, the evidence, which is quite something, and what it all means. For the athletes, the team, the sport, especially, with the Winter Olympics just around the corner. Okay, so let's unpack this. The rumors were flying, but then came the official news. And it was a big one. Two Olympic gold medalists, Marius Lindvik and Johan Forfang, plus 3 staff members, that's 2 coaches and an equipment guy, all from the top Norwegian men's team, formally charged with ethics violations. And this all goes back to alleged equipment manipulation during the Nordic World Championships. That was in Trondheim, Norway, back in March 2025.
Yeah, and the fallout was immediate.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't overstate it. These allegations backed up almost instantly by video. Plus, you had confessions from team officials pretty quickly. It just, well, it shook the ski jumping community. And Norwegian sports in general. It's a tight-knit world, Remember, all 5 of them were provisionally suspended way back in March while this whole investigation was getting started.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. How exactly do you cheat with a ski suit? I mean, my first thought was something obvious, maybe like hidden weights or something, but this sounds way more subtle.
Right, it's much more technical than that. It's all about aerodynamics, finding those tiny, tiny advantages. So the allegation is that reinforced thread was put into the crotch area of the jumpsuits. Now, why would they do that? Well, it was supposedly to subtly increase the size, the surface area, of suits that had already been checked, approved, and even microchipped by the FIS, that's the International Ski and Snowboard Federation. And these changes were apparently so small, so hidden, that you could only really confirm them by physically paring apart the seams in that crotch area.
Wow.
It just shows you, doesn't it? Ski jumping is so technical. Millimeters, tiny changes in airflow. That's where the edge is.
Okay, so if it's that subtle, how did it even get discovered? Was someone looking specifically for this, or was it like a whistleblower? Because it all seemed to come out very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's a key point. The speed suggests the evidence was pretty compelling right from the start. What really blew it open was partly video footage, but also those quick confessions by team officials as it was reported. This manipulation, it was apparently captured on secretly filmed footage, so pretty hard to deny. Even the FIS general manager, Jan Erik Albu, went on record saying the team had, quote, tried to cheat the system. And what's really fascinating, maybe telling, is that 2 key guys, the head coach Magnus Brevik and the equipment manager Adrian Littleton, they admitted guilt back in March. Brevik actually said, "We regret it like dogs, and I'm terribly sorry that this happened." Pretty stark words. They did clarify, though, that they only altered suits before one specific event, the men's large hill competition.
Right, the large hill where those tiny aerodynamic tweaks would matter most, I guess.
Exactly. Longer flight, higher speeds, every little bit counts.
That Brevik quote, wow, regret it like dogs. You can feel the pressure there. And that admission must have just, turned the heat up immensely. And it wasn't just internal, right? I read that Austria, Slovenia, and Poland all lodged formal protests.
That's right. It became an international issue very fast.
So with confessions and video, the next logical step was a full FIS investigation. How did they handle it?
Well, they definitely seemed to take it very seriously. The investigation was pretty extensive. They conducted 38 witness interviews. They looked at 88 different pieces of evidence. And based on all that, they concluded that, for now at least, no one else would be charged in this particular incident.
Okay. And what about the athletes, Lindvik and Forfang? They were charged, but what was their initial reaction back in March?
Well, their initial stance back in March was denial. They denied direct involvement. But despite that, they were still disqualified from that large hill event immediately, and the FIS suspended them for the rest of the season anyway. So their formal charges came later, signed off by the FIS ruling council. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Denying involvement but getting suspended.
Yeah, what does that imply? Guilty by association, or maybe rules about team responsibility? It's complicated. So what specifically were the investigators trying to figure out? What questions are guiding this ethics panel now?
All right, that's crucial. The FIS laid out 5 key areas for the ethics panel to focus on. It's not just about did they do it, it's broader. Okay, so first, did the coaches, Brevig and Thomas Laban, and the suit tech, Livelton, violate rules by actually orchestrating the manipulation? Was it planned? Second, did the athletes, Lindvik and Forfang, knowingly break the rules? Did they know their suits were altered? That's a huge question. Third, did this go further? Were other Norwegian athletes or staff involved? Was it a wider conspiracy? Fourth, has this happened before? Have they done similar things in the past? Is there a pattern? And fifth, did it spread beyond Norway? Were any other teams involved in this kind of thing?
Okay, those are big questions, and the potential consequences sound pretty severe, too.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking bans from the sport, could be lengthy, significant fines, potentially, and maybe the most painful, disqualification of results, which puts Marius Lindvik's gold medal from the normal hill event at those same World Championships at risk, and Norway's team bronze from the large hill event, too. That's huge.
Yeah, and connecting this to the bigger picture, the timing is just brutal. There's no set date for the hearings or the verdicts yet, but I mean, we are less than 6 months away from the next Winter Olympics in Italy. The impact on their careers, their Olympic hopes, it's massive. Lindvik, he's 27. He was basically expected to defend his Olympic large hill title next year in Milan Cortina. And Forfang, who's 30 now, he already has team gold and individual silver from the 2018 Olympics. Their legacies are really hanging in the balance here.
You also mentioned the FIS has already tightened the suit rules because of all this.
Yeah, they moved pretty quickly on that, which actually led to a whole bunch of disqualifications at a recent competition, apparently just due to technical issues with the new stricter rules, not because anyone suspected cheating that time. But it shows how sensitive things are now.
Right. So this ethics panel, 3 members, they have to make a decision pretty soon. Seems like it. The rule is they have to reach verdicts no later than 30 days after the hearing process is concluded. So once the hearings happen, the clock starts ticking, especially with the Olympics getting closer every day. So wrapping this deep dive up, it really underscores how in a sport this precise, this technical, like ski jumping, alleged cheating can just explode into this massive investigation. With potentially career-ending consequences for top athletes, it makes you think, though, if this kind of micromanipulation is possible, are the rules just too complex? Or maybe almost impossible to police perfectly when thousandths of a second matter?
That's a really good point. This whole situation shows that even with all the technology and precision, the human factor, ethics, it's still central. And that constant push for an edge, for that tiny advantage, it's always going to be under scrutiny. It leaves you with a tough question, doesn't it? Considering the intense pressure to win, especially at the Olympic level, and how equipment keeps evolving, where is that line between legitimate innovation, pushing boundaries and actually breaking the rules? And maybe more importantly, how can the governing bodies like the FIS effectively draw and enforce that line to keep the sport fair, without accidentally killing off innovation? It's a really tricky balance they have to strike.